Hello everyone, this is Shalu Kumar again from OSCE Nurse Training Cambridge, and I'm experienced OSCE Nurse Trainer for the NMC OSCE exam in UK and also the lead trainer for OSCE Nurse Training Cambridge. Okay, so welcome back to another adult NMC OSCE video for you. If you like my videos, please press the like button now and subscribe to my channel. It just keeps giving me a lot of motivation to make some more videos for you, and hopefully they are helping you to revise for your OSCE exam. So today video is very special. You've been asking me for a long time to do this. So this is all about how to prepare effectively and how to revise effectively for your upcoming OSCE exam. Okay, so really important videos because people feel a bit lost where to start, what to do, have training, not have training, can we do it ourselves, not do it ourselves, what should we do, when, how long to leave it for booking exam and things like that, and what are the top things you need to prioritize when you're revising and practicing for your adult NMC OSCE exam. So this video is going to be very interesting, so keep watching. So let's get into my 5 top tips how to prepare effectively for your NMC OSCE exam. So let's get started. The first one, preparation, planning. Planning is the key. You know, if you don't plan, it's gonna be very difficult. So plan ahead. Planning is the key. So you have done your CBT or you are ready to take your OSCE exam. So where do you start? First thing is make a clear plan. It means think about, do you want training? So first thing will be look at the NMC website, look at the marking criteria on the test center's website and think, is this something I can prepare myself or I need training? I would highly recommend training because it is a quite long tough exam to pass. You can check the recent pass rates on the NMC website. I'm afraid, you know, it is difficult exam and that those pass rates reflect that. Okay, so I will highly recommend training. Now, whether you take online training, whether you take face-to-face training, that's up to you, or whether you want to do it yourself, that's completely up to you. But think about it, seriously give a thought. Okay, what do you want to do about your training? That you need an early decision on that. Next thing is, like I said, there are resources on the NMC website. When you go into links of different test centers, look at it and think what you need to do and make a reasonable timetable. Okay, so you really need to, and take into consideration, if you are somebody who is working like 37.5 hours a week already, how much time you're going to get out to learn these station, practice these station. So it's really important. Even though you probably thought, okay, I'm gonna take the training, that's gonna help me. Yes, it will help you, but also you would need to invest your own time to practice these station. Okay, wherever you take the training, they will obviously show you how to do the station, what you need to do. So you will have the skill and knowledge, but you still need to put a lot of time in your own practice. Okay, because you need to perfect the timing of these stations. I'm just being honest to you. You know, there is a lot of time investment, so you really need to have a realistic timetable going and think about you know, how much time you can afford out of your work schedule as well to give it to this exam. Okay, it takes a lot of effort, lot of practice to practice your practice with timer and get those stations done in the time limit. So it's really important that you have a reasonable timetable going. Booking exam, again, once you have made the decision about whether you are going to do the training or not, then you need to make sure that you have a you book your exam. But I would say that ideal time period is probably, you thinking, if you're not working full time and you can spend quite a lot of time in your practice and revision, you know, 4 or 5 weeks are okay. But if you're somebody who is finding time difficult, whether it's the family, whether it's the work, you're not getting the enough time to practice, then I would say a reasonable time period is about, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks from when you start revising for it and to taking your exam. Now, like I said, don't take your training. If you do decide to take training, don't take the training a week before the exam. That is not a great idea. Like I said, even after the training, you need some time to revise, practice your stations with the timer so you're confident you can complete them in the time set by the test center. So don't just do that, okay? Don't book the training and think, oh, I'll be fine, I will just book the exam, I will plan it this way, I will have the training 1 week, exam next week. I will not recommend that, okay? So make sure you have left time between training and booking your exam, ideally about 2 to 3 weeks, okay? So that's what you're looking, but from this beginning to end, probably you're thinking about 4 to 6 to even 8 week period. Don't leave it too late as well to book your exam, because then you start forgetting things. So you learn them, then you think, okay, my exam is in 3 months, it doesn't matter, and then you start taking your foot off the gas and not revising, because that's just human nature when you know things are not happening for 3 months, and then you have to keep going back and keep repeating things, and it might get a bit frustrating, okay? So too long is not a great idea either, okay? So make sure you leave yourself reasonable time period, but not too long. So next thing is get organized, okay? So whether you take training, if you take training, hopefully you will get all your reading materials and everything from your training place. But if you are somebody who is going to do it themselves, then that's okay. But make sure you print your marking criteria from the test center website, make a folder with all the paperwork and all the video links as well, because when you're preparing for your exam, I know him because I'm overseas nurse myself. So when you are planning to prepare for this exam, you watch a lot of videos, okay? And then later on, you're trying to find the same videos because you like them, but because you never saved them, you did like them, you watched it at that time and you thought, right, I'm gonna come back to this video, but because you never saved it or you never saved the link, and then you're spending hours finding the same video again. So don't do that mistake. That's not really good. So get yourself organized, make a folder with all the paperwork you printed from the NMC website or your training place has given you, and also all the video links you would like to go back into again, okay? Print supporting document. There is a document, supporting document on the test center website, where they show you what different documents look like. What does your news chart look like? What does your inhaler prescription will look like? What was your peak flow measurement documentation will look like? You know, all the different prescriptions will look like. So they already have a supporting document on the NMC website. Make sure you print it and you know your documentation. That's really important, because you don't want any surprises in the exam, going and thinking, oh, I never seen this document, I'm not sure how to complete it. So it's really important. They do have mock scenario on the test center website, and also they do have what to expect on the day videos, okay? So they walk you through the day, what you would be doing on that day and how your exam will run. So really good idea that you know all that, okay? And you get yourself organized and have your things in the right place, so you're not spending a lot of time looking for resources again, okay? So get yourself organized. Organize is important. Number 3, revise smart, okay? So we all have limited time within our family life and work life, and we are preparing for this exam, very limited time. So how we revise smart? Right, first thing is smart. What is smart? S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for realistic, and T is for time period. So it's simple one. Specific, S is specific. Specific means just learn what is in the marking criteria, okay? So because examiner on that day is going to mark you against the marking criteria. We are overseas nurses, we may be used to doing things differently back home to how they are done here. So the key is, if you understand the marking criteria and you have learned the marking criteria and you practice with the marking criteria, you can't go wrong, okay? First step is understanding it, what does it mean? Second step is learn your marking criteria, and then you're gonna practice with your marking criteria, because that's how your examiner is marking you on the day. You're running through your station, they got marking criteria, they're ticking you off the marking criteria. So if you already know the marking criteria, you are being specific, you are practicing in the specific way to pass this exam. So that's really important that you know how things are done here, which are on the marking criteria, your steps. That's why when you watch all my videos, what do is I always take you through the marking criteria, because that is the key to passing this exam. Next thing is practice station using marking criteria to build confidence. In the first few times, have your marking criteria in front of you and run through the steps. Just do it. It's no harm in doing that. Okay, you don't have to hide the marking criteria and test yourself first few times. No, first few times when you're practicing, have your marking criteria there to build confidence. Then you will soon know your marking criteria. Once you know it, then you can take it away, put your timer on and practice. So that's fine. Next thing is familiarize yourself with all the documents, because there's so many different documents in OSCE. There is a different documents for community scenario, then there's so many other different documents to document if you give any drug, your implementation chart, your community implementation chart. So it's so many different documents. That's why I'm saying get yourself organized. If you have in the folder, then you can go back to them very easily and know every page of the document where I need to document what and how would it look like in your exam, so you don't have any surprises. So get to know your documents very, very well. That's the important thing. And like I said, the supporting document from the NMC website will help you. I'm going to add the link of the website, that link for the supporting document, to the description of this video, and also the latest marking criteria set by the NMC. Next thing is set realistic goals. So we done as specific and measurable, because we're doing everything specifically as per marking criteria, and we are measuring against our marking criteria when we're practicing. Achievable and realistic, it means just make sure ANR is achievable, realistic. Make sure it's some realistic goals. Okay, you can't aim to practice 10 stations in a day. That's not achievable or realistic. So have a small periods where you can revise 2 stations, practice 2 stations, then have a break and practice another 2 stations. So have some achievable goals and realistic goals. If you've done a long day, it's not realistic to come back and practice for 3 hours. That's not gonna happen. Okay, so don't do that. And the time period, keep that time period in your mind when you have booked your exam, or when you're planning to book your exam. Okay, sometime you just revising and book exam later on, that's fine, but just have that time period in mind, because you have to adjust your timetable according to that. Next thing is number 4, practice effectively. So how do we practice effectively? Practicing effectively is really important, because that's how we're gonna get to our goal, which is passing the exam. Use timer. Okay, in the beginning, maybe not first few times. After that, once you know the marking criteria, always use timer to make sure you can finish that station within the time set by the test center. That's really, really important, because lots of people fail because they can't finish in time. They know what to do, but they can't finish within the time. Be prepared to multitask. Now in your exam, like some stations are very tight in time. Give you a prime example, which people fail quite a lot, this station, which is a urinalysis one. So it's midstream specimen of urine and urinalysis. You got to collect MSU, midstream specimen of urine, and do urinalysis. Now you normally nurses normally run out of time towards the end of it, and they fail because they haven't given results to the patient at the end, because they run out of time. So you have to be multitasking in the end. So as you are taking your gloves off, cleaning your hands, and taking your apron off, cleaning your hands at the end, multitask. Keep doing your hand hygiene points, and then at the same time you are talking to your patient and saying, okay, I found glucose in your urine, I will report it to your doctor. It could be indication of diabetes, whatever it is. So you could multitask, but that only will happen if you can do your hand hygiene even in your sleep, and you know your steps. You don't need to think about it. It means you can use that time to multitask, whether taking consent, whether giving information to the patient at the end. Okay, so you have to multitask. Do not repeat the pre-check. So if your examiner already told you that certain things are done, your tray is clean, your trolley is clean, ID check is complete, so don't repeat those. Okay, they are for a reason. They're telling you that because the time limit is tight, so they want to just get on with the station. So please do not repeat pre-checks. If you're not sure what examiner said, ask again before your timer start, but do not repeat those steps if they're already done. Okay, practice in real time. So this is really important tip, that whatever you do, you are practicing in real time. What does that mean? hygiene is, so if you are doing ANTT and every time you need to do your hand hygiene in between and you just say I will do it, you're just practicing hand hygiene done. No, you actually really need to do it within that time. Every time it comes along, you're doing full hand hygiene, because otherwise it's false sense of security you will have that you can finish this station in 15 minutes, ANTT using aseptic non-touching changing a dressing. Just an example, it could be any station. But if you haven't practiced in real time the hand hygiene, every time that takes like 10 seconds. So you have not put those 10 seconds in your practice. So how you will think you can do it, but you will not be able to do an exam, because in exam you have to do hand hygiene in real time. Same thing like in your skills, you're putting your apron on, gloves on, please put them on in your practice as well, because if you don't, and you will have false sense of security again. Oh yeah, I can do this within time, I even have a minute left. Not really, because if you haven't practiced that way, you won't be able to do in exam, because in exam you have to do it in real time. So make sure you do it in real time. Again, if you're dispensing medication, make sure you have some like sweets in a bottle, and you could dispense in whatever, but you need to actually do the action of dispensing, checking your drug date, drug dose time. Don't just say now this I will be dispensing. No, when you're doing practice, just practice in real time. Next one is improvise but don't compromise. So that is all about that, you can change your resources to practice, like I said. So you can practice with a bottle with a little sweets in to dispense your medication. You don't need real medication, you don't need the medicine cup, you can just dispense it in a tumbler, water tumbler, glass or whatever. That's fine, you can improvise, but you can't compromise your practice, because you're still doing all the things. You're still checking, you put a label on your bottle, you're still checking the name, drug and all that, because it all takes time. If you don't practice in real way, it won't happen in your exam. So you can improvise stuff and use different things, but you can't compromise your practice. And practice whole station. Don't underestimate the written station. Your planning station, professional value, evidence-based practice. So many clinical skills are written stations now. So make sure you're practicing them writing with a timer. Okay, there is no two ways about it. You need to practice whole station. People fail these stations a lot because they just think it's easy. I can learn. I will write an exam. It's fine. No, you need to practice writing. Next one is not an easy one here. Self-care is really important, that you're looking after yourself. Okay, take sufficient breaks. Like I already said, there's no benefit of doing 10 hours practice in one go. Split them, do an hour and a half, have a break, then do some other stations in the afternoon, have a break, do some other stations in the evening, and keep going. If you're on a long day, there is no benefit of doing practice on that day, but have a good timetable done on the days when you're off. Okay, prioritize diet, exercise and sleep. Don't forget, you don't want to get ill before your exam, because you will lose more time. So it pays off to look after yourself. Okay, and then believe in yourself. You're already wonderful qualified nurses in your own country. Yes, things are done different here, but nobody can take your knowledge and skill away. Okay, so you already know what to do. So get the nurse in you and be on that day, in your exam day, and be confident you can do this. Okay, so that was my top tips how to prepare and plan and prepare effectively for OSCE. So if you like my video, please press the like button now and subscribe to my channel. And you can also visit us on OSCEnurstraining.com and email us on OSCEnurstraining@outlook.com. And I will soon be back with another video for you. So bye for now.